Metanomics is brought to you by Remedy Communications and Doosan Writers Metaverse.
I'm just looking at the time, and we have so much to talk about. I'd like to move from Second Life to the lab itself, and you have an extended discussion about Stuart Brand, the creator of the Whole Earth catalog, and the new communalism, as it's called in the book, from counterculture to cyberspace. So I'm old enough, I must admit, to remember the Whole Earth catalog, and it was very interesting to me to see that you see some very close parallels between Linden Lab and Stuart Brand's founding of the Whole Earth catalog. So I guess first, just for our younger viewers out there, can you summarize what the Whole Earth catalog was, and then just tie it to Linden Lab?
Sure, and much of this piece of the book owes a great deal to Fred Turner's excellent book, From Counterculture to Cyberculture, which I highly recommend, where he talks about Stuart Brand and many of the people around him, Ken Kesey and the like, in relation to a kind of post-World War II moment in the United States. The United States comes out of World War II and with a kind of confidence on the world stage, with an increased emphasis on technology. But one of the interesting things, and it even goes back to the Manhattan Project and to the Radiation Lab at MIT, is a new style of work, a new set of ideas about collaboration, the ability to be creative as necessitating a lack of hierarchy. I mean, the Manhattan Project was military and industrial and academic. What does a wonderful job tracing is how, in the kind of echo of that, there in the aftermath of that, you had people like Norbert Wiener, who talked about complex technical systems as connected to the people who use them, as socio-technical systems, almost really the ancestor of our current idea of a gamer is this notion of an individual, and really underscore individual, interacting with technology, seeking to master it and able to accomplish tremendous things, able to express themselves. Well, Stuart Brand and that group in the Whole Earth catalog emphasized technology to an enormous degree. The subtitle of the Whole Earth catalog was Access to Tools. And the fundamental ideals that informed this piece of the counterculture in the 60s were a few things. One was a great distrust of vertical institutions, a great distrust of the military or industry and all the rest, but also a great faith in technology, an enormous faith in technology. So what you have from that is a great desire to avoid any institutional governance, any traditional top-down governance, and also a drive to increase access to technology. And when you sort of put those things together, you end up with something basically like an ideology that has this faith in technology, that has this distrust of institutions, but what is more, believes that if you just make universally accessible, powerful technology, then these people who have access to it, acting again as individuals, looking to express themselves creatively, will, in aggregate, just like the invisible hand of Adam Smith's market, generate social goods. That's the conviction. That's the idea of the Whole Earth catalog, that we don't need any government, we don't need any plan, we don't need anyone in charge, we don't need any policy, we need access to tools, and everyone will create from them, and good things will happen.
And that's what you mean when you call Linden Lab a quote techno-liberal organization?
Right. And now the kind of descendants, the homebrew computing movement in the 70s, just an enormous imprint on Silicon Valley that these ideas of Stuart Brand had. It is in the woodwork. Before the show, there was some discussion about how idiosyncratic Linden Lab is. And I replied that it's not as idiosyncratic as it seems at first glance, and that is because these ideals that informed the creation of Second Life and the way Linden Lab sought to govern themselves and sought to prompt governance, self-governance in Second Life, are not unique by any means to Linden Lab. They are all over high-tech companies in Silicon Valley. There's no question about it. It's an attitude that is still very suspicious of institutions, still with an enormous faith in technology, and still with a conviction that we don't need to implement any policy. We just need people to have access, and then all the things we want will be things that arise.